Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Okay, so this basically is just going to be a review on this, and this is the Rokka korpisoturi. My finish is not great, so apologies to anybody that's from Finland, and then me pronunciation, but this is it anyway. So currently I'm using it as a neck knife. Now, for those that do know me, they know that I'm not keen on neck knives. I don't like having anything around my neck. But I've started to like the idea of having this one around my neck. It's easy to just grab it and take it out. So yeah, just put a bit of orange paracord on it, and you know, it's very secure. So yeah. So the Rokka knives have not been going very long. I don't know the full history about them. It was relatively a new company to me, because obviously I've had one of these knives before, but this is the first time that I got one of their stainless steels. The first knife which I regrettably sold many years ago, was in the typical Finnish 8CRV2 carbon steel, and it was a great knife, brilliant knife, incredibly sharp, very strong. You know, just a good old good all-rounder bushcraft knife. And I kind of lusted after another one. I wanted one for ages, another one for ages. But that's generally what I do. Sometimes I sell knives and then I want I want them back because I miss them. But so this one, I'm not going to make the same mistake. I'm going to keep this one's a keeper, and I'll tell you my reasons why at the end of this video. But yeah, this is the Rokka korpisoturi, which says it on there, on the blade, on the handle. Very nice rubberized, rubber grip handle. Again, all the information's out there anyway on this knife. Some kind of like it's like TPE rubber, rubber overmold. It's really strong, really tough, and very grippy. The sheath, again, it's kind of a spare in the moment thing, so I do apologise. I'm not 100% sure what this sheath is made out of, but it's made out of incredibly tough material. I think it's made out of some sort of recycled material, but the way they've done it, it's pretty much impervious to everything. It's oil, UV resistant, oil resistant, you know, so it's absolutely perfect for the outdoors, and it is solid, very solid sheath, very well made. You know, really thick kind of plastic, recycled plastic, like composite plastic, whatever they've made it out of, but it's resistant to a lot of things. So like I said, I mean, the 8CRV2 I used to have, this had the same sheath, but obviously it was different colour. It was black, and I actually quite liked it in black as well. But unfortunately, when I went to get another one, they have discontinued the carbon steel model, the 8CRV2 model, which was a bit unfortunate. So you can no longer get the older model, the 8CRV2, unfortunately. So I thought, well, I like the specs on this. I do like, this is stainless steel. This is N690, which I'm not a big fan of stainless steel. However, N690 is brilliant steel, really is. It's right up there. If I was to use a stainless steel, that would be probably one of the best, the top on the list. So yeah, so it's obviously, it's not a premium steel anymore. It used to be, but not anymore. There's got loads of different steels out now, but to be honest, the N690 or N695 steel, which is similar, those kind of steels are pretty much my favourite. If I was to use or pick a stainless steel, it would be N690 or at least Bowler N695. Brilliant steel, very tough, easy to sharpen, and it's basically what you want for a bushcraft knife if you used to choose stainless steel. Just make sure there's no flies in my tea. So the knife then. So I've discussed the handle, so let's look at the sheath, let's look at the ins and outs of it. So just get closer to you. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I think this sheath is the standard sheath that comes with this. You used to be able to get a Kydex sheath, but I'm not too sure if you can get it anymore. I could be wrong, I've not really looked it up. I just got this. I got this in the trade, so I didn't actually pay full price for this. It was in a trade, and it was brand spanking new as well. I was quite happy about that. So yeah, sheath, composite, some kind of composite material, recycled composite material. This is really, I think it's TPE rubber, I don't know. But let's have a look at the knife. So knife, the sheath, by the way, very well made, very well made, and to be honest with you, it doesn't look like a cheap sheath. Do you know, sometimes when you get plastic sheaths, which I'm not really keen on because I'm more of a leather guy, I like leather sheaths, but looking at this, it is really solid. It's a lot more sturdy than Kydex. So like I said, I don't know what kind of composite material this is, but in my opinion it looks better than Kydex, especially that you can it's resistant to a lot of things, but also the fit is brilliant. So I don't know if you can hear that. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. Listen, did you hear that click? That's when you know that the blade's not coming out. That click is what was kind of a famous thing that Rokka does, the famous Rokka clip. So yeah, easy to pull out, got your thumb there, push the blade out, easy as that. Put that aside. In fact, I might put it around my neck without stabbing my neck with the knife. Okay, so look at the knife then. So it's a thing of beauty, this. So it's not too long, not too short. It's what I call the ideal size for a small bushcraft knife or a neck knife. So look at this, at the size of the blade. I think it's about 4 inches, or maybe just shy of 4 inches, but it's the perfect size. The perfect size for most bushcraft tasks is about the same width as your palm, or just a little bit more, and this falls in that category. It's brilliant. So it's really good size for most bushcraft tasks. So the steel, you can see it on there. I know it's upside down to you guys, but if you just focus on there, I know it's upside down. So yeah, there we go. So stainless N690 steel, brilliant steel. You know, it's one of my favourite stainless steels. I'm not usually a huge fan of stainless steels, but I do like N690. It's brilliant. You've got an exposed pommel there. Now, when I was doing a bit of research on this a few weeks ago, I don't remember everything because obviously with my mental problems and especially ADHD, I tend to forget a lot of things, so you have to bear with me. So you can swear and shout at me if you wish down in the comments, saying, "You silly boy, you should have researched it." But I did do my research and I just forgot on it. Sorry, it's just the way it goes with me. So yeah, exposed tang there. So this has different functions, okay? Not purely for a bushcraft function really, so for us bushcrafters, but it's there anyway. So it's exposed tang. It is sharp, I must admit. That is really sharp when you will. So if you do slip with it, or you put your palm accidentally on the top of there, you will cut yourself. So it is sharp. So it serves different functions. The obvious one is obviously you can put a lanyard through there, to aid even more gripping and things like that. Maybe some like chopping, delimbing, that kind of thing. And apparently, I've never tested it myself, and I don't think I ever will, but apparently the reason why it's got this bit here and it's sharp the way it is because you can actually use it as a glass breaker as well. In emergency, you just get out your vehicle and you can smash the corner of the glass in the car. I've never tested it, I've never actually seen it done. Maybe I'll give it to Joe X, not this knife, just to give him a message on Joe X, and see if he can smash the glass with that. If he's not already done it, I don't know. Or somebody else might have done it. If it works, I don't know. You'll let me know if you've used this for an actual glass breaker, if it does work. But I suppose you can use it for other things as well. Hammering tent stakes, but if I was hammering tent stakes, I would want that to be flat, not to be slightly apexed. So obviously it's slightly apexed there because obviously it serves as a glass breaker. And I suppose you can use it for other things, to hammer some nuts open or something like that. But all in all, I don't usually like knives with exposed pommels because I've got no use for them. With me, I like the simple things: handle, blade. That's it. I don't need these fancy exposed pommels and things like that. Although I suppose it can serve a purpose if you're using a baton and you need to use this to break open some planks of wood or something like that as a wedge. But it's very unlikely I'm going to be doing that anyway. I'd rather use like a big chopping blade or an axe for that, to be fair, not a little 4-inch blade. But it's there if you need to. Okay, so for me, a little bit of controversy, really. It's not a fault or anything like that, but I did a video about a week ago, which you may or may not have seen, I'm not too sure, on scandi grinds, the difference on scandi grinds and secondary bevels and things. And basically, a lot of scandi grinds, especially heavy duty bushcraft knives, do have a secondary bevel, a secondary marker bevel right on the edge of the apex all the way along, and that gives the blade strength if you need to do some light batoning, light chopping, etc. Now, on the website, and even if when you Google it, it says that this is a 0. Now, at first glance, it may look like a 0 grind, but when obviously I'm in shelter today, so the sun can't really get through the tree branches, but so you have to take my word for it. When the sun reflects off this blade, and if I hold it up to the light, you can actually see a marker bevel, a really tiny marker bevel, all the way along the edge. So I'm suggesting that it does have one, and the fact that you can use this for light chopping and batoning suggests to me that it does actually have one. If it didn't have that, like a lot of scandi knives, it would probably end up chipping and rolling relatively easy, despite the heat treat. So see, I can actually see it now. It's definitely not a 0. It does definitely have some kind of marker bevel on it, but this has kind of an advantage. So this is not a normal scandi grind, this is what's called a rhombic scandi. Now, I've owned rhombic scandis before, and when it comes to processing wood, I mean carving wood, they are probably the best scandis to have, the rhombic scandi. The normal scandi is obviously, it's pretty much the same thickness all the way up here to the spine, and then you'll have a drop down shoulder there, which is usually on a typical scandi, it's usually lower. It's getting a bit dark now. I'll just put this up a bit. Not the best cameraman on your lead No, but do we care? No. So yeah, so where was that? With a normal scandi, obviously you got the same thickness of the blade, and then you'll have a shoulder there, which is usually kind of further down. So you have a bevel there, and then it's ground to a very thin edge, okay, which at first glance this is what this looks like, but when you look at it again, what a rhombic scandi is it looks the same as a normal scandi grind. However, it's ground a little bit different, okay. So you still get the scandi grind there. This is quite a high scandi grind because I like my high scandi grinds, okay. You still get the same bevel there, that little bit of a shoulder there. However, instead of being the same thickness here all the way to the spine, there's a little bit off here. You probably can't see it because I'm using my phone, but instead of being the same thickness here from that thick bevel there, it slightly kind of tapers towards the spine. So it's ground really sharp here to the apex, and then past here it's kind of what you call, it's kind of it's crossed over, so it's kind of I don't know the term for it, but you know what I'm trying to say. Kind of not cross cut, but cross ground a bit. So it kind of thins towards here, but it's still thick. It's still got 5mm thick here, but you can see the taper. So it starts here and then it tapers to around maybe 4.5, starts to 5 and then 4.5mm, and then here it tapers just a little bit, just slightly tapers here towards the spine, and that's called a rhombic scandi. And what that does is, compared to a normal scandi, is that it kind of reduces drag. So when you are carving wood, making let's say a tent stake or something like that, rather than going in the wood here and then hitting that bevel there, hitting that shoulder there, okay, which on a normal scandi, what this does, when it goes past, if the wood goes past there, okay, it kind of just skims off there a little bit. It's really hard to explain how it works, because this bit here is slightly tapered than a normal scandi grind. It's less drag when you're slicing. It's hard to explain. So what I'll do next time to explain the rhombic scandi is I'll bring a normal scandi grind, which is what everybody knows, and I'll bring this and I'll show you what I mean. But yeah, it's rhombic scandi grinds. They say it's ground to a 0 there, but I pretty much disagree with that, because there clearly is a micro bevel on there, but it is very well done, very well done. This grind on this blade is amazing. You know, the people at Rokka, they definitely 100% know what they're doing when it comes to grinding a really good finished blade. It is superb. Like everything, I'll do a quick demonstration, make a 10 peg, maybe do a few feathers, break some wood. Obviously I'm not going to cut crazy and have a massive log like people do. I don't see the point, because normally with a 3.5 to 4 inch knife like this, I wouldn't bat on anything thicker than my wrist, because you don't need to. If you want anything thicker than that, then get a bigger knife. It's as simple as that. Don't ruin your best small knife. You know, just chop down and break down what you need. And if you need more wood and you need thicker pieces of wood, get a bigger tool. Why use this to break a 10-inch thick bloody log? What I've seen people do. You're just going to break your blade. You'll ruin it. You will break it. You know, no steel is bomb-proof. Although this can probably take it, because like I say, this is 5mm thick. That tapers down to maybe 4.8, maybe there, 4.8, 4.5, I don't know, but I need to put the calipers on it when I get back to give you the full specs and how thick it is. But it's substantially thick, so it is really thick for for a knife this size. So Rhombic scandi, 5mm thick, tapers down to 4.5mm, let's say, for argument's sake. Getting bit to shreds here. Probably get bit on the arse by a mozzie. Handle ergonomics. Oh, excuse me. Handle ergonomics. Again, this kind of TPE rubber. I mean, again, anything that you disagree with, put it in the comments. You know, because obviously I've not fully researched. I should do. I normally do, but I've not fully researched this material of this handle. This rubber overmold, but it's not. It doesn't look, feel like your cheap typical rubber that you usually get on handles. And normally I don't like rubber handles, but this one, you know, you can tell it is very well made. This rubber, it's going nowhere. And another thing I like about it as well, which people don't often mention on the channel when they have knives that's got a rubber overmold, is the distance between the handle and the spine of the blade. That to me is actually important, especially if you bat on it. Okay, so what I mean by is you got the spine there, but look at the distance between the spine and the handle there. So he's got what, probably about 3mm. Now normally when you've got a rubber overmold, normally this is too far down to the spine, and if that happens, that there is a chance that if you're batoning or whatever and you slip and you miss and hit the handle, over the course of time this will get worn away, and then it'll start to expose the tang. But so to have a little bit extra there, meat there, it really does help, and it does fill you with confidence. And there as well, so it's not too thin. So the blade's not all the way up here. There's like a 3mm gap between there and there. And that's really important to me if I'm using a rubberized overmolded handle. A lot of people don't really notice that, but it is important. And if I was to choose a rubber overmold, that's the first thing I look at, is the distance between the spine and where the handle meets. There has to be a gap there. It needs to be thicker there for me, for my usage. But anyway, so yeah, I think that's everything. So yeah, really very well made handle. You've got like these ridges here, which is not overly aggressive, so you never feel. Normally with rubber overmold handles, sometimes ridges can be really sharp and they really dig into your palms of your hands and your fingers and cause friction and hot spots. This one doesn't. It really does not. Really grippy, really nice. And another thing I like about it is the shape of the handle. You know, they've not just designed a knife and just slapped some a big rubber handle on it. They've actually really thought this handle out. Which a lot of companies usually don't. They've really concentrated on the ergonomics of this, and I'll tell you why. Okay, so the first bit here, the ridges in the handle, so when you're doing like forward grips, right, that is going to definitely lock your hand in place. Now I've got medium to large hands, but this is, and believe me, I've used this for many hours. I think I've had is it 2 or 3 weeks I've had this? I think 3 weeks. So I've been using this for about 3 weeks, say, and it's never ever slipped out of my hand. Even when my hands are really sweaty, this has never ever want to leave my hand. Never. Even when I'm doing some light chopping, it never flies out of my hand, and I don't think it ever will. So you've got this bit there, really grips your hand, brilliant. But additionally to that, you've also got this here, and it's the perfect shape for your thumb. Absolutely perfect. So it's got like a thumb, what you call it, a thumb scallop there, to do detail works like that. Perfect. But not only that, in addition to that, you've got these kind of small cut out bits there, these thumb scallops here. again, very well thought out, so you know, you can just do things like this. Your pinch grip, that is absolutely perfect for a pinch grip. And your thumb, if you're doing a, let's say, a chest lever, so you can put your thumb there as a chest lever, and you can do that. And you know, it's just the little things. Like I always say, what makes a great knife great is the little details like that. Because when you're making a knife like that, they really do think about what it's going to be used for and the different types of grip. So it's not just making a blade and then just getting a bit of rubber and slapping it on a knife. They really have thought about the different styles of grip with this knife. And to me, for the price, which we'll go at the end of the video, for the price of the knife, yeah, for me that's a winner for me. So I'm not going to leave this video to run on, because obviously if I do, it's probably going to be at an hour long. Plus it gets you guys to keep looking at, doesn't it? So I'm going to cut the video off there because we're 26 minutes in, and I'm going to make a part 2 where you'll see this in use. So I'll see you shortly in part 2. Bye bye for now. Bye bye.